And good evening. Welcome to the Smyrna Town Council meeting for May 14th. Before we start the meeting, we'd like to open with a prayer and pledge. So Pastor York, if you would, come do the pledge for us. We'll stand, and then Tom Rose will be doing our pledge for us.
Let's pray. Heavenly Father, we love you. We thank you for this day. We thank you, Lord, for our nation. We pray your blessings upon America tonight. We thank you for our city, and we pray your blessings upon our city. Thank you for every person who serves in emergency services. We pray, Lord, not only would you protect them, bless them and their families, meet the needs of each home that they have. Father, I pray for our leaders tonight that you will give them wisdom. You teach us in your word that if we lack wisdom, let us ask of you. And so we pray that you will give clear wisdom as they guide our city. Pray you'll bless this evening. In your name we pray. Amen.
Amen. We want to face the flag. Pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, gentlemen. All right, Diane, you want to do roll call for us, please?
Councilman Cole?
Yes, ma'am.
Councilman Morrell?
Here.
Councilwoman Peebles?
Here.
Councilman Short?
Here.
Councilman Sullivan?
Here.
Vice Mayor Atkins?
Here.
Mayor Reed?
All right, thank you. Mayor Reed had some emergency stuff come up at her work, so I got a last-minute call, and I'm going to try to stand in her place tonight. Approval of corrections and minutes for the April 9th meetings and April 25th meetings. Any corrections? Council, have you looked over the minutes?
Yes.
Everything looks good? Anybody have any corrections they need to add or change? If not, we'll take a motion on the minutes.
So moved.
Have a motion from Jerry,
Second.
second from Raquel. Any other questions? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Correspondence, communications. Right? None this evening. Move on to awards and recognitions. We do have a few tonight. I can tell by the audience we've got some participants here. So we will start with the first proclamation that we have, and the first proclamation is for the American Legion Post 288. This is American Legion Centennial Day. So I'm going to have Diane read the proclamation, and then we'll call you guys up front. We'd like to get a picture with you and present the proclamation, if that's okay.
Whereas the American Legion has been a staunch advocate for veterans and their families since 1919, and whereas the American Legion was founded on the 4 pillars of care for veterans, a strong national defense, Americanism, and children and youth. And whereas the American Legion has played a leading role in initiatives and breakthroughs that have affected the lives of Americans in every community, from U.S. flag code to the GI Bill. And whereas the Legionnaires of American Legion Post 288 remain dedicated to upholding the ideals of freedom and democracy while working to make a positive difference in the lives of the people of Smyrna, Tennessee. And whereas the American Legion is celebrating its centennial in 2018-2019. Now therefore, I, Mary Esther Reed, Mayor of the Town of Smyrna, Tennessee, do hereby proclaim Tuesday, May 14th, 2019, as American Legion Centennial Day. Further, I urge the citizens of Smyrna to join in commending the good works of this organization, an expression of appreciation for the wartime and peacetime services of our Legionnaires. Proclaimed this 14th day of May, 2019.
All right, thank you. Do we have some representatives here? Would you come and join me here? We want to tell you we appreciate your advocacy for our veterans all across the nation. They're some of the dearest people we have, and so much respect, and thank you for your work there. If you would, we'll get a picture and I'll present you this proclamation. Would that be all right? Get you up here in front of the seal. You guys line up, Chief Bill and Dan, anywhere you want. And I'm going to let you just kind of hold that, okay? Smile for them because they take good pictures. All right. Thank you all very much.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you for doing that. All right, so our second one is, bear with me a moment, the proclamation for Safe Boater Week. And do we have any representatives here doing that this evening? Come on up. She's going to read the proclamation for you.
For nearly 100 million Americans, boating continues to be a popular recreational activity. From coast to coast and everywhere in between, people are taking to the water and enjoying time together, boating, sailing, paddling, and fishing. During National Safe Boating Week, the U.S. Coast Guard and its federal, state, and local safe boating partners encourage all boaters to explore and enjoy America's beautiful waters responsibly. Safe boating begins with preparation. The Coast Guard estimates that human error accounts for 70% of all boating accidents, and that life jackets could prevent nearly 85% of boating fatalities. Through basic boating safety procedures, carrying life-saving emergency distress and communications equipment, wearing life jackets, attending safe boating courses, participating in free boat safety checks, and staying sober while navigating, we can help ensure boaters on America's coastal, inland, and offshore waters stay safe throughout the season. National Safe Boating Week is observed to bring attention to important life-saving tips for recreational boaters so that they can have a safer, more fun experience out on the water throughout the year. Whereas, on average, 650 people die each year in boating-related accidents in the U.S. 76% of these are fatalities caused by drowning. And whereas the vast majority of these accidents are caused by human error or poor judgment and not by the boat, equipment, or environmental factors. And whereas a significant number of boaters who lose their lives by drowning each year could be alive today had they worn their life jackets. Now, therefore, by the authority vested in me as the mayor of the town of Smyrna, I do here proclaim May 18th through the 24th, 2019 as Safe Boating Week and the start of the year-round effort to promote safe boating. Further, I urge all those who boat to practice safe boating habits and wear a life jacket at all times while boating. Proclaimed this 14th day of May 2019.
All right, gentlemen, you see this proclamation before you. We as a town are so proud to be able to offer this to you, proclaiming safety for Boat Week. We've got that coming up, as you know. I think Brian's going to head that up. He's going to be the first one out in the water, and he'll paddle hard. In the water, yeah.
As long as he has his life jacket.
Okay, so, but we appreciate your work that through there and also through the Coast Guard and the work you do for us in the country. We appreciate that very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. You got to get a picture, or did you get it? Got it? All right. Thank you, gentlemen. Okay, and now we have one that's actually not on the agenda. It's, from what I understand, it's kind of a secret, right? So, Kathy, would you join me up here? Kathy Farrell with the American Red Cross has a little presentation she'd like to do, and I'm going to hand her the mic.
Thank you. So, Vice Mayor and council members and those in attendance, Mayor Reed and I had the opportunity to sit with one another at an event at MTSU and had a great conversation about an event that Smyrna so generously supported and partnered with the Red Cross, and we wanted to come and celebrate Brian Hercules and Chief Culbertson publicly for this partnership. So I appreciate the opportunity. Every year, the American Red Cross, we install smoke alarms all the time. We partner with fire departments to do that. But across the country, we get together and one day a year try to install as many as possible. So Smyrna was the location this year, and I cannot thank you, Brian, enough for that partnership. 287 smoke alarms, 110 homes made safer on April the 27th. Tom did the mapping for us. John did some lots of work ahead of time from a communications perspective. And then the day of the event, and Chief, your team was phenomenal. So thank you. The fire department came out in full force. They were amazing. And then the Rutherford County Health Department, the north location in Smyrna, hosted us and joined us as well. So thank you all. Thank you to the town of Smyrna, but just wanted to really publicly recognize all 4 of you, but the 2 of you especially.
Well, we're going to have them come up and have a picture made. So all 4 of you that were mentioned, Bill, Chief, I don't know who's going to take your picture. But I bet Dan. So if you would join myself and Kathy here. Brian, would you come? We'd like to get a picture of it, so that's all right.
Chief's team, I have to say the Chief's team was led by the chief, but the driving force was neither one, he or myself. It was my wife, Pat, who was taking care of all the paperwork and accounting for what we did.
She was amazing. I will say these 2 and Pat, and you had one other person, 28 alarms just then. In no other market did we have a town manager or a fire chief that were boots on the ground actually participating, so I want you all to know that.
They're pretty awesome guys,
really
aren't they?
special
Yes, they
place.
are.
Yes.
All right.
I'm gonna
Smile
let
for
you
Dan.
hold this. Yes,
Okay.
there you go.
Okay, and then just look right here. And then if you would look right here.
That's the important camera right there.
Yes.
He got a license to operate that.
No. How do you make it focus? Oh,
Turn it
focus.
on.
Seriously, where is it?
Turn it on, sir.
Oh, it's not on? Oh, here it is.
It's got a safety.
Thank you, gentlemen.
Mr.
No, you take that down.
Thank you, Kathy. We appreciate it very much. Thank you.
Thank you, Colonel.
Okay, get all those pleasantries out of the way. So we will move into our consent agenda, and you all will bear with me. I'll try to read some of this. When we get to all the chemicals, I'm going to forego all those because the mayor likes to read them, but I think she's read them once, and they're on here for the second time. So consent agenda items will be those items that are determined by the town manager to be routine, matters not necessitating discussion. I'll read these each at one time. Approval of the terms of and authorization for the mayor to execute a contract with Neely Schaffer, Inc., relative to construction engineering inspection services for the Intelligent Transportation Phase 1 and Phase 2 project. Approval of the terms of and authorization for the mayor to execute a contract with Gresham Smith relative to design services for the Sam Ridley Parkway at Old Nashville Highway intersection improvement project. Item C, approval of the terms of and authorization for the mayor to execute an extension contract with CMS Uniforms relative to fire department uniforms. Item D, approval of the terms of and authorization for the mayor to execute an extension contract with Pi Barker relative to fire department fire extinguisher service. E, approval of the terms of and authorization for the mayor to execute a contract with Cummins Crosspoint relative to generator maintenance at the Fire Station 4. F, approval of the terms of and authorization for the mayor to execute a renewal contract with Cummins Crosspoint relative to generator maintenance for Fire Stations 1, 2, 3, 5, 6, and Moores Hill Radio Tower site. G, approval of the terms of and authorization for the mayor to execute a memorandum of understanding between the Town of Smyrna Police Department and the Domestic Violence Program. H, approval of the terms of and authorization for the mayor to execute a change order with Experitech relative to the gas SCADA upgrade project at Rock Springs Gate Station. I, approval of the terms of and authorization for the mayor to execute a contract with United Systems relative to gas AMI metering upgrade project. J, approval of the terms of and authorization for the mayor to execute a renewal contract with Bush Construction relative to gas continuing construction. K, approval of the terms of and authorization for the mayor to execute a contract with Sinagro relative to water treatment plant lagoon sludge removal. L, approval of the terms of and authorization for the mayor to execute contracts with the following relative to chemicals for the water and wastewater treatment plants, and all those chemicals are mentioned. M, approval of the terms of an authorization for the mayor to execute renewal contracts with the following relative to chemicals for the water and wastewater treatment plants. Those chemicals are mentioned. Approval of the terms of an authorization for the mayor to execute a contract with Science Center relative to the rental of the treehouse exhibit at the Smyrna Outdoor Adventure Center. And that is the consent agenda. If anybody on the council sees anything they would like to remove and talk about separately, we can do that. Otherwise, we'll take a motion on the consent agenda.
I don't want to remove an item, but I do have a quick question.
All right.
Brian, I'm not sure if it's you or the chief, but item E and item F, essentially the same thing, but two different terms. Just curious why Station 4 has a 5-year term and all the others have a 1-year term?
Councilman, the E is a new one that's at Station 4, and Cummins just required it to be on separate contracts.
Okay, and it's a 5-year term?
Yes.
And the others are all just 1 year?
Yes.
Okay.
All right.
And Mark, I'm sorry, I've got one quick question.
Okay.
Okay. On the number I, it talks about being in fiscal year 220 to coincide with the capital budget. Is that under a capital budget for 2020, or is it for 2019?
Yes, the gas AMI project is the upcoming budget. So
Okay.
we're getting this in place. We also had to have this because annual bids for materials go out.
Okay.
And these modules have to be put on the annual bids of
Okay.
materials. So
So
we're getting
basically, it's
everything in place.
contingent on the budget passing?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
And I would like to point out too, as we move forward with this contract on the AMI, and correct me if you need to, Mike, but we also, as we went into that contract with this company, they reduced their bid by close to $500,000
Yes.
based on us going forward, so.
Okay. Thank you.
All right, any others? All right, nothing was removed, discussion was in order.
Motion to approve?
We have a motion to approve.
Second.
In a second. Any other questions or comments? All right, all in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? Motion carries. We will move into old business now. And we have 4 public hearings tonight, so we will begin with the first one. Kevin?
Yeah, the first 3 public hearings are all regarding the same project, just 3 different steps we gotta take. The first step is the plan of service for an annexation, which is requested. It's land owned by John A. and Beverly A. Hill. It's requested by Land Solutions Company. It's to annex, plan of services for the annexation of tax map 54, part of parcel 62.01. It's about 1.79 acres. On the map that's on your screen and on your packet, it's the area highlighted in blue, darker blue. This does put in place all the services that the town would be providing upon annexation. The town would be providing all services here except for water, which will be provided by Consolidated Utility District. The Planning Commission did review this plan of service and recommended it to you unanimously.
Kevin, is this the Blakeney subdivision?
That's correct.
Okay. All right, any questions for Kevin? All right, so if not, we will move to public hearing. So this is a point where anybody can come up and speak for or against. I'll open the public hearing. If anybody would like to speak for or against, please come forward. All right, seeing no one, we will close the public hearing and go to the council for a motion.
I'll move we approve.
All right, we have a motion from Tim,
Second.
second from Steve. Any other discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Second public hearing, Kevin?
The second public hearing is for the actual annexation of that 1.79 acres. And there is a PRD zoning that goes with that. And the next item, or 2 items down from your agenda, after the memorandum, is the zoning amendment for the existing property zone PRD. So I'm just going to kind of cover all that at one time. Again, it's for annexation purposes for the 1.79 acres, and zoning it to PUD, or PRD rather. And then amendment of the rest of the property. That would be PRD amendment and development would be for a residential development containing 197 single-family lots and 76 townhouses. Access would be from 2 separate entrances onto Rocky Fork Allenville Road. The existing PRD is 262 single-family lots. That tells you the difference there. It's about 11 more total units, and then the change in the mix of units. The side setbacks for the single-family lots are also requested to be changed from 7 feet to 6 feet. I did include the proposed plan. The Planning Commission did review this, did recommend approval of this unanimously. There were 10 conditions of the zoning amendment as well as the zoning with the annexation. Those are listed there in your packet. And one other thing, and this kind of goes with the next item, but the red area that's on the map is requested to be changed from the PRD to R1, so cover that as well. I guess that's all that I've got.
All right, any questions for Kevin?
The red area is not actually a part of the rest of the parcel, correct?
It's a part of parcel 62.00, yes. But there's a land swap, and it will be incorporated into parcel 62.01 after this all takes place.
So they anticipate annexing 6201.
At some point in the future, at this time, the people that are selling their, or doing the trade with part of the land that is in the darker blue do live on that parcel, and at some point it may be annexed. They're not, have not requested it at this time, though.
So essentially what they did is ask to go to R1 rather than de-annex, essentially, since it is withdrawing from the rest of the PRD, correct?
Correct.
Okay.
I noticed in the packet some of the conditions that the Planning Commission put on, and I appreciate those. One of the ones I want to make sure and point out, which I know we talked about, is that the fire flow of 1,000 gallons per minute cannot be met right now. And CUD is saying estimated completion date of that project isn't until spring of 2021. And no building permit could be issued until that's been met. So just for those people out there that are paying attention and watching, that spring of 2021 is before any building permit's ever issued.
Assuming the timeline stays the same, correct, yes.
There's nothing that prohibits them from doing groundwork, though, is there?
No, they can certainly do
Grading?
or extend their sewer line, all those kind of things. And they could go ahead and start, if get the plat approved, start building streets or whatever, but they could not get any permits.
All right, any other questions for Kevin? All right, so we'll move to the public hearing on this. We'll invite anybody that has something to say for or against the property to come forward. Seeing none, we'll close the public hearing, go to the council for a motion to vote.
Motion to approve.
Jerry made the motion.
Second.
And a second from Tim. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. The third public hearing, Kevin?
This is actually not a public hearing. This is just the resolution regarding the annexation. So we're in compliance with state law. Yeah.
Sorry about that. Go ahead.
Yeah, this is just the
We've already
resolution.
covered it.
Yeah, for the annexation.
All right, so we'll go ahead and take a motion to vote on item C.
I'll move we approve.
Second.
Motion is second. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion carries. Now the third one.
Yeah, the third one is just for again, just as I covered previously, it's for the zoning amendment for the area that's shown in green there on the map, amending the PRD, and then changing the zoning of the area that's in red from PRD to R1. Again, all the conditions that were and everything I just covered under the annexation would be a part of this as well.
Again, this is part of the Blakeney
Blakeney.
land swap,
Yes.
correct?
Yes.
Okay. All right, so we'll go to the public hearing on this. Anybody has anything they'd like to speak to for or against? Please come forward. Seeing none, we'll close the public hearing and go to the council for a motion to vote.
I'll move we approve.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. Last public hearing, Kevin?
Yeah, the last public hearing is a text amendment to the zoning ordinance. If I can get to it here. It's regarding the requirements in PRDs when side setbacks are requested that are less than 10 feet. It would actually, it's Article 4, Section 4.075 is the actual part of the ordinance that would be amended. These are things that have been added as conditions of several PRDs recently, and this would just put it actually in the ordinance, so it communicates that clearly to developers. Would not have to, it would just be something that would be required on any PRD where the side setback is less than 10 feet. Would require HVAC units to be located in the rear or on a roof if applicable, if there is a situation like that. And we require the materials on the sides of those houses to be brick or stone or some other non-flammable material. The Planning Commission did review this and did recommend it to you unanimously.
We've been talking about this for a while in planning, and I think it's necessary. It helps give everybody a clear understanding of what we're looking for with this density and the setbacks that we have in new development. So, all right, we'll open the public hearing for this. Anybody want to speak for or against, please come forward to the microphone. Seeing no one, we'll close the public hearing, go to the council for a vote and a motion. Motion to vote.
I'll move we approve.
Have a motion from Tim,
Second.
second from Steve. Any further discussion?
The only thing I'll point out is I think planning's been doing this mostly for a
Yeah.
while, so this really just kind of catches up to what we've been doing already.
And it gives the applicants,
Now they know coming in.
right,
Yeah.
clear understanding, so. All right. We have a motion and a second. Any other discussion? All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? That motion carries. On to new business. Planning Commission report. Back to you, Kevin.
Yeah, the first,
You want me to read this one first?
no, either I can read it.
You go ahead.
Okay. Yeah, this is an ordinance, it's a rezoning of a property on tax map 49, parcels 2 and 2.02. It's about 3.03 acres. It's requested by Ayub Ishak from R1 to PRD. These are on Old Nashville Highway. It's about 600 feet northwest of the intersection of Old Nashville Highway with Pioneer Drive. Land use plan would support commercial development here. Surrounding zoning is R1 and PRD, which is the villas at Stewartsboro. This proposed PRD it's for a 35-unit townhouse development. This would basically be phase 2 of the villas at Stewartsboro, which is currently approved. We'll have 38 units. Access would be from Old Nashville Highway utilizing Longfellow Lane, which is a private road that's currently under construction as part of phase 1. Again, it did include all the pattern book and everything that has been proposed. This has been looked at a couple of times. The first time it had 48 units, I believe, and then it was reduced to 40. It was turned down both times at that density, and so this request is for essentially the same development layout, just 35 units.
This began as 48
There's 48.
units originally,
Yes.
and we've sort of whittled this one down pretty good, I think, but
Planning Commission did review this and did recommend approval.
okay. All right, so you've heard Kevin's comments. Anybody have any questions for Kevin on this?
Were this in a standard zoning, what would it fall under? What zone would it fall under?
It would be R6.
It would be R6.
Which allows 14 and a half units, I think, per acre. Is that right, Kevin?
Right, and this is a
This
little
is-
over 10, about
It's a little
11.
over 10, yeah.
About 11 units per acre.
Chief Culbertson, your fire trucks get around inside here okay?
My understanding that the turning radius is checked and it's fine, sir.
I will add that when we looked at it at planning this time, we did note that we went down an additional 5, that with the additional parking, it actually helps phase 1 with some shared parking, so we're getting vehicles off the streets and blocking drives and whatnot. So with the density, I guess, help here when you look at both of them together, along with the materials and the actual use, we feel like we've got a good fit at this point.
Are the units larger, or are they still the same size?
They're still the same size as what they've been talked about. I think they're about
So the
1,700.
building, the entire building just got smaller. Is that right?
No, I mean, yeah, the total building, because there's less of them,
Pads.
yes, but the individual
Building
units,
The pads got smaller.
Yeah.
yeah,
Well,
the individual
it's
units are the same.
Okay.
Yeah.
But I think 1,700 square feet.
Any other questions for Kevin?
So I see that they're still required to have the sidewalks on at least one side of the street. So when the utilities come in, you will all check that at the planning commission for the site plan as far
Yeah.
as like the street lights and whatnot?
Yeah, all that will be
'Cause I'm
looked
not
at
seeing it
more,
on here.
in more detail with the site plan as far
Okay.
as the actual utilities and drainage and all those things, stormwater pipe or whatever needs to be there.
You know, I really do appreciate the efforts that the developers have made on trying to make it more palatable and such as that, but it's still R6. A horse of a different color is still a horse.
I hear what you're saying.
I know.
But honestly, it's sitting beside a multi-unit complex, and I think there's slim to no chance that we'd ever see an R1, being built here. And I think we would just have a vacant lot, in essence, with no use and not assisting with what we're trying to help with the first phase.
I vehemently opposed the first phase too, if you recall.
I do recall.
So the first phase though has been approved.
It's been approved, the zoning was approved 10 or 12 years ago.
That's what I
Uh,
thought you
And that was
said.
under a higher density.
It was 38 units, it's a little more land,
Yeah.
but it was 38
There's
units
some privacy fencing or something
on the
involved.
north side next to
Right.
the church. Yes,
This,
sir.
this behind here is a mobile home park that butts up to the first phase and the second phase, am I correct? No, I'm sorry,
Those
that's,
are houses.
that's further down.
Those are single
That's-
family.
yeah.
Those are, yeah. And
So-
you have single family on the other side as
and
well.
I was out of town, did we talk about buffering
They are
section
showing,
2 to the R1?
yes, yeah, they're showing landscaping, landscape buffer. The gentleman, I can't relate, the gentleman who lives in the house on Old Nashville Highway did speak with me, and he would like a fence, I guess, too, as well. So that's something, I told him, I said, you can certainly come and speak at the public hearing to that. He did come talk to me about that. They are showing landscape buffer there, a type C, which is a thicker landscape buffer on the south side as well as the rear, where you do have single family.
With the neighbors in behind there, are they concerned about a landscape buffer versus a fence buffer?
I haven't heard from the folks behind, just on the side is the only
Okay.
one I've heard from.
Tim, did you all discuss any of that in planning?
We really didn't talk about that specifically. It's been since planning commission that
Right.
the gentleman has come and talked to me, so.
There's a lot of natural,
It looks like a lot of natural growth.
natural, buffer as far as trees and whatnot, that are already existing there.
Okay. Any other questions or comments for Kevin? If none, we'll go to the council for a motion.
I'll move we approve.
All right, we have a motion. Anybody have a second? Anybody? Trying to get it on the floor.
I'll second it.
All right, now it's on the floor. Any, now we can kind of share a conversation about this with questions and comments. I know Kevin's answered some of them, but now we have a motion and a second, so. Further discussion? All right, if none, we will call for the vote. So we have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed?
Aye.
So we have a 4-2, am I correct? 4-2. That motion is not confirmed, it's denied. All right, moving on to the next one, we have, I will not be voting on this next one, so you can show me as not participating. I will read this, and I'll let the council discuss it. Consideration and approval of a subdivision utilizing a septic system requested by Sean Collins. Request is for a 2-lot subdivision on 12.29 acres located at 8320 and 8286 Rocky Fork, Amelville Road in the R3 zone.
Yeah, this is a final plat. Typically, it's not something council sees, but because this is not utilizing sewer, it is utilizing septic systems. It is required by our subdivision regulations that the council review this as well. This is 2 separate lots of record already. One's about 5 acres and one's about 7 or so. There are 2 existing houses, one on each lot. And what Mr. Collins is wanting to do is essentially take the 5-acre tract and reduce it down to about a 2-acre tract, and then combine the rest of the property, rest of that tract with the other 7 acres to make it a little over 10-acre tract there, and then a 2-acre lot with the existing house on either lot. I think in the future, the 10 acres, when sewer does get extended into that area, it might be coming back for development. But the 2 acres in the existing house, he was wanting to sell that separately. So the Planning Commission did review this, did approve it, and so they did recommend it to you as well.
All right, any questions or comments for Kevin? All right, so do we have a motion?
Motion to approve.
Steve, in motion. Need a second?
Second.
Second. Any further discussion?
So there's only gonna be 2 houses upon approval, but it could come back again for a PRD once the sewer system gets to that.
Or development as an R3. I don't know. It's currently R3 zoning, so it certainly could come back to that and just come back to the Planning Commission. But yeah, in the future, but currently, and what's planned at this point is just the 2 existing houses, the property boundaries are changing, and getting them less than, one of those is less than 2, and then 5 acres that requires a subdivision approval.
Okay.
But anything that's built is limited by the capacity of the septic system, correct?
Correct. So,
Any others? All right, all in favor say aye. I will be passing.
Aye.
Aye.
And any opposed? The motion passes. Number 3, consideration of an ordinance to amend the text of the Smyrna Municipal Zoning Ordinance to add Article 5, Section 5.059, Enon Springs Gateway Overlay District. This is a first reading.
yeah, this is a text amendment to the zoning ordinance that would create the Enon Springs Gateway Overlay District. This was something that was discussed, kind of the idea of this was discussed back in January at your council workshop, and then discussed in a little bit more detail at the April council retreat. This would work very similar to the Flower Street Overlay District. I did attach the text, which is very similar to what you saw at the retreat, with a few changes as discussed at the retreat. And then we also, not in your packet at the retreat, but in this packet, we did add the map as well. So the Planning Commission did review that and did recommend approval of it.
All right. Thank you, Kevin. Any comments or questions for Kevin on this?
Kevin, what we're doing is we're defining an area or a district here, and we're saying within this district, these are going to be approved materials and
Materials, some signage, landscaping requirements, sidewalk requirements, cross access easements, those type of things.
But as it develops out, we'll still look at it from a perspective of what could be potentially zoned commercial, residential, higher density, lower density residential and things like that. This
Yes.
just kind of defines within each one of those, as we build it out, how we would like to see it built out from a design review perspective, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Any other comments or questions for Kevin?
This will only take effect for anything coming forward new, correct?
Yes.
Anything else that's already been approved is considered grandfathered.
Yes. Yes.
What have we approved so far? The only thing that I know of is the townhome.
The townhomes,
Yep.
those one townhomes is really the only thing that's been approved at this point
Townhomes
in
right
that
there by
area.
Big Sun.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's
Yeah,
what I
that's,
thought.
that's
that
really
was
the only thing. And really, it kind of reflects, for the most part, will probably be covering,
Yeah, I
would
think-
meet this anyway.
I
so.
think it'll meet most of it, for sure.
Any others? Need a motion
Motion we approve?
and a second.
Second.
A motion and a second from Steve and Jerry. Any other discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion carries. So we have the packaged liquor board report. There were no applications for the town council to consider at this time, correct, Counselor? And any motion we need to take on that? None? Okay. So item C, consideration of an ordinance adopting the budget for fiscal year 2019 through 2020. And Rex, thank you for you and your people for all your laborious work getting this ready for us at the retreat and having it in front of us and time to spend looking at it. This is a first reading, so have at it.
All right. Vice Mayor and Council, the ordinance and detailed budget for fiscal year 2019-2020 are submitted for your consideration. Brian and I have had numerous meetings with department heads since December when we started the budget process. We had the budget retreat in April where the budget was presented to the council. We spent the better part of 2 days discussing the budget. I made a budget presentation at the April workshop that can be viewed on our website, and the complete budget is posted on our website. And we're asking that you approve the ordinance adopting the budget.
Rex, I do have one question. I think we've talked about it in the workshop. The amount for the additional library capital budget is still less than what we discussed.
Yes, and we said we would address that at the second read.
Okay,
That's going to be adjusted, and also there'll be an adjustment for the volunteer park
okay,
at that time.
all right.
Oh, I'm sorry. Okay. Thank you. There's some technical difficulties going
Yep.
on, so. Steve's our guru. He fixes everything electronic for us, so. All right, comments or questions on the budget from anyone else? Steve's made that correction or question. Anybody have any others? Brian, thank you all for getting all this together, all the department heads working together in unison. I know it's been a long, laborious process, and like many budgets, everybody didn't get everything they wanted, but I think it's a good budget, so. All right, we'll take a motion on the budget.
I'll move we approve.
We have a motion from Tim,
Second.
second from Steve. Any other discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? And just so the public knows, there's a lot going on this year and in the year to follow in this budget with infrastructure and some road improvements that the town has some leverage to do. There are also some that we're still waiting on grant money and things to hit, but if you live in Smyrna, you've seen a lot of orange barrels lately, and Jefferson Pike is now on the budget for the state. Bid letting, we think, will take place late this year, hopefully, or next year. This year, December? Next year. And then we have Samerly Parkway that's beginning some work already. The intersection there, Tom, over at Stonecrest is now pretty much complete. That's moving traffic a lot better. We talked about the traffic system, the intelligent traffic lighting system that's coming our way. And so there's a lot locally that we're doing. Sam Ridley's a state project, Jefferson's a state project. How about Swan Drive, where, if you just give everybody, you don't have to get up.
It's under construction right now.
What's the timeline on that, though?
We're looking to kind of open that up probably October, November timeframe, to open up all the lanes. We still have to come back later and put the arms up for the traffic signals. Those are things that take a long time to produce, so those will come in, I think it's January or February. So about February timeframe of 2020 will be completely done, but we're looking at probably October, November to have that open for use.
So be patient as you drive through town. We sit in the same traffic you do, and we're doing our very level best to make sure we fund those appropriately without a lot of debt. We're seeking a lot of grant money, and we're receiving a lot of grant money for some of those projects. So we're working hard to make your traffic work a little better. I like to quote the mayor in saying, it will never get better, but we're going to try to relieve some of the stress you feel.
Vice Mayor?
Yes.
Don't forget Eden Springs West.
Eden Springs West is underway, thank you. And that project is ongoing. That'll carry everybody out to the new Rocky Fork schools. And when that's done, I think you'll see a big improvement there at that intersection as well. So we have a lot going on, and so this budget addresses some of that. Thank you, Rex, for all your work.
Thank you.
All right, moving on to the next item, we have a consideration of an ordinance adopting the property tax rate for fiscal year 2019-2020. This is a first reading. I'm going to let our town manager speak to that as well. You want to make any kind of announcements on the taxes?
Well, we have built a budget that basically keeps our tax rate at the same.
That's awesome, see. It's a great place to live, an affordable tax rate, we think, and it's, you'll often hear people say it's a pretty good deal compared to some of our neighboring cities.
Absolutely.
So we feel pretty proud that we're able to maintain our budget and maintain our tax rate for our citizens. We don't know at some point if that will ever occur where we have to do what our neighboring cities are having to do, the county's having to do, but we feel pretty fortunate that we're in a financial position to be able to do that without, at this current time, having to raise the rate at all. So, good news for everybody. So, I'll take a motion on this.
Motion to approve.
Second.
And a second from Raquel. Any other questions or comments? All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? That motion carries. All right, consideration of the initial resolution authorizing the issuance of not to exceed $20 million of general obligation bonds for road-related capital projects. Rex, you getting that one?
Yes, sir.
All right.
For fiscal years 19 and 2020, we budgeted for some capital projects to be financed by the issuance of debt. The amount we need to borrow is estimated at $20 million. And these are for the road-related costs that you and Tom just enumerated. The resolution discloses the process for protesting the bond issue. This will be advertised in the Daily News Journal and posted on our website.
All right. So we'll take a motion on this.
I move we approve.
From Tim.
Second.
And a second from Steve. Any other questions or comments? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries. On to item F, consideration of a detailed resolution for the issuance of debt not to exceed $20 million and contracts with financial advisor and bond counsel.
The process we have to follow is once the initial resolution is passed, then we get into the detail. This resolution defines the issuance will be road-related projects and competitively sold on the open marketplace. The award will be on the best true interest cost to the town. The bonds will be backed by the full faith and credit of the town. Attached to the resolution are the contracts for the financial advisor and bond counsel that defines their scope of services and costs.
Any questions for Rex? And we'll take a motion.
Motion to approve.
From Jerry, we have a motion.
Second.
Second from Raquel. Any other questions or comments? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? That motion carries. Thank you, Ray.
Thank you.
Item G, we have the appointment of one member to the Beer Board to serve an unexpired term ending in 2021. I have the applicants that I will read to you, and then I'll let the council, this is a council motion thing, council decides this, so let me tell you what this is about. Members are appointed by the majority vote of the town council. The board is composed of 5 members who are citizens of our town. The term of service is a 4-year term. Vacancy shall be filled for the unexpired term by the town council majority vote. So the applicants that I have was Amanda Newbern, Krista Fly, Kentrell Moore. And so I need a motion on an applicant.
I'd like to nominate Amanda Newbern.
All right. Any others? No? No? Okay, so we have a motion to nominate Amanda Newbern. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second from Raquel. Any other discussion or comments? All right, all in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed? That motion carries. Congratulations, Amanda, wherever you are. You're now part of the Beer Board. We're at other already? Well, I'll tell you what, sometimes we can move meetings through pretty quick, can't we?
That's right.
Just saying. No, I'm just kidding. All right, so she'll love that when she sees that, right? So, okay, so we'll start with Miss Diane. What do you have for us?
I have nothing.
Nothing at all?
No,
Nothing? Nothing. Okay.
I'm sure, nothing.
Nothing. Okay. Brian?
Yes, I do have a couple of things I'd like to share with council and citizens this evening. One is, late this afternoon, we received a request to announce a Smyrna Band Bazaar to be held June the 22nd. They have some vendor spaces available and some information. You can reach out to the Smyrna High School Band Boosters for information related to that. This Friday, our police department will be working with a group called Carry the Load. It's a walk. It's an East Coast walk for our heroes. It begins in West Point, New York, and goes to Dallas, Texas. They'll be walking this distance. And on Friday, they will be leaving Bumpus Harley-Davidson at noon, coming to Smyrna. They'll have 2 spots in Smyrna they'll stop at. One is the furniture store there on Front Street, and then at Stars and Strikes. Should be coming through Smyrna about 2:30. They've asked the community to get out and support these people and show a little appreciation. I know we'll be sending out an all-call to our employees. Andy Miller's going to be working with us to let us know when they're close so we can go out and show some appreciation, but that's a pretty cool event. You see on the screen a picture of our chef from the town center, the event center. I'll get that right, event center. He participated in an event at the Taste of Smyrna, and happy to announce that our chef and his staff won the Best Entree Award.
All right.
So congratulations to the chef and his family and his employees. The event center also, I wanted to announce that this past Sunday, I said event center, didn't I?
No, you
Yeah.
said you congratulate him and his family.
I'm sorry. Well, I think of his family.
That's all his family down there.
Family down there at the event center.
I'm sure his wife's excited.
Right. Mr. Sullivan, here at the town, we like to think of our employees as family.
I know you do.
Likes to hug them all.
That's right. This past Sunday, Mother's Day event, had a great success at the event center. And I wanted to point out that we had 526.
Largest crowd we've had.
Largest crowd we've ever had for an event as far as our buffets and stuff. So very excited about that, and just wanted to let the community know we appreciate them coming out and supporting it. And also keep an eye out. Our next event will be another Friday night seafood, and we'll be making an announcement about the date on that in the next couple of weeks. Kathy's already been here and talked about the sound the alarm. I wanted to point out that Chief Culberson, his team did a great job putting in 28, like you said, 287 smoke alarms in partnership with the Smyrna Fire Department and the Red Cross, and just appreciate so much the fire department's support on this event. 110 homes was actually touched by this event, so that was a great morning. I think we worked from about 9 o'clock to about noon, doing that. So that was a great event. Also, I wanted to point out another kudos for the fire department came in from a young lady on Facebook, and she just wanted to point out the quick response to an accident she was involved with. Also wanted to just thank the fire department not only for the professionalism but the genuine concern that they showed to her and her family during that accident. So kudos to the fire department. The event center, another thing I want to point out, scored a 100 on our Tennessee Department of Health inspection recently. Kudos again to the staff down there and the cleanliness and the professionalism that they're using, and as we serve our community, it's good to know 100%. That's top of the, that's as good as
Don't
it
get no
gets.
better than that.
Yeah, don't get any better than that. So you'll see up on the screen right now, the town of Smyrna and the VFW would like to invite you to come out and commemorate a Memorial Day. This will be Monday, May the 27th at 11 a.m. here at the town hall at 315 South Lowry Street. It'll be held out front. I know most of the council has responded that you'll be here, and we're looking forward to that event and showing our support and honor to those fallen soldiers. Chief Arnold shared with me, here's a picture. One of our officers was in the Woodmont subdivision, witnessed some kids having a good time, and he stopped and played a little kickball with them, and one of the parents responded with just a very positive email about this and how the children were so impacted by our police officer taking time to stop. He shared with them kind of the mission of the police department, had a little fun in the neighborhood, and we just, want to show some appreciation to Officer Rowlett, but also to the whole police force for the work they do. So many times we hear about the negative stuff, but to see our officers out there making a positive impact is really good to see. So again, kudos to Officer Rowlett and our local police department. In that same vein, I received an email today about some RAD training, which is the Women's Self-Defense class that's put on by the Smyrna Police Department. And the young lady just wanted to share with us what an excellent program it was, and how much she enjoyed it. And she pointed out that Sergeant Gibson and Detective Anderson and Officers Pegram, Potts, and Kilfoy? Kilfull? Okay. Okay, want to make sure I said his name right. That she was just ranting and raving about what a great team they were and how she so much appreciated that training. One other thing Kathy didn't mention while she was here, and we had another opportunity to partner with the Red Cross, Battle of the Badges. And I think there was a little ribbing that went on about that here a couple of meetings ago before this. And I'm happy to announce that the Red Cross Blood Drive with the Battle of the Badges, the police department took first place not only in Smyrna but county-wide. And Smyrna collected 39 units of blood that were good units that could move forward through the system, and they very much appreciated our help with that. So kudos to everyone and all the good work that's being done by our employees. I like to think of this as my bragging moment.
And it's not unusual to hear the same feedback every time they do the RAD classes. We typically always receive emails from people that have gone through that and received, self-defense type of training, and the officers involved do a wonderful job. It's great to see Officer Rowlett out in the neighborhood like that. I bet those kids probably kicked his rear in kickball.
He trained, he dominated.
Well, of course he did. But whoever's telling the truth, it's good to see them all interacting like that. That's the bottom line. So we'll ask him at some point.
Please do.
Is that all, Brian?
That's
You
all I
more?
have.
All right, that's a lot.
Yeah.
Good news. All right. Counselor?
Chief had just reminded me, Chief always reminded me, a very special young man has a birthday today. Lytle Hodge turned 98 today.
Yes, sir.
So,
I was going to mention that. I'm glad you brought that up. Lytle's
Special
he's a
person.
special guy. Special guy. He's an icon in our town and one of the sweetest men you'll ever meet. Does he still come down to the fire department and do any volunteering any longer?
No.
I mean, the police department?
No, he's a little limited in mobility.
But he was doing that in his early 90s, was he not?
Trust me, his memory is better than mine.
Yeah, I do trust you. I've stopped and talked to him a few times. He's
He's a little limited in mobility now.
he's still pretty sharp, though.
Oh, very.
Good for Lytle.
hello, sugar.
Hello, Sugar. What else you got? Thank you for your work. Appreciate all you're doing for us. Raquel?
Okay, I have one announcement. The Smyrna Arts Commission is sponsoring the art call for this year. It will be on Saturday, June the 8th, and the time will be from 6 to 9 p.m. And we are still accepting submissions by artists. We have 4 categories: elementary, middle school, high school, and adult categories. And there will be, the winners are chosen by the citizens. And so the submission deadline is through May the 30th at 12 at night. And if anyone needs more information, you can look us up on www.depotdistrictartsfest.com. All one word.
Good deal. Anything else?
That's it.
Jim?
Not that he wants me to, but I would want to recognize that we have our newest commissioner, Wayne Blair, in the audience tonight. Wayne has a passion for Smyrna, and it's exciting to me to know that we've got one of our county representatives for Smyrna here and interested in what's going on and seeing how we can work together to make things happen here. So thanks for attending tonight.
And Wayne went on to take Brad Turner, Commissioner Brad Turner's place, who was appointed by the governor. So, Wayne, we are excited to have you from the county level, working in unison and partnership with those of us in the city. We've always had a good working relationship with our representatives here in Smyrna, and I know that'll continue with you at the helm. So, congratulations. We think a lot of you, and we look forward to working with you.
Thank you, sir.
Jerry?
A couple of things. Last week, I think it was Thursday, I had the privilege to be at Stewart's Creek High School. They had their military swearing in ceremony that day. I think they had 13 young men and women that volunteered and were sworn in, and actually for all branches of the service. So it was very, very well done, and it was an honor to be there. The other thing is, just wanted to kind of give a quick shout out to the parks. And I've actually told Mike this already, but as I was walking the other day, I was walking with a friend of mine who actually lives over in Williamson County, and he's come over here a couple of times to walk, and he made the comment that he said, "You guys are second to none on when it comes to greenways and parks." He said, "We don't have anything like this over in Williamson County." So thank you, Mike, for what you do and what your team does for the city.
Did he visit our bathroom installments?
Well, it was locked.
Yeah.
They were waiting for you to come by, apparently.
But they did say they would unlock it if we went in.
That's a little inside joke we have with Jerry, but we have a lot of fun with it. Is that all, Jerry?
That's it, thank you.
Steve?
Just a couple items. I want to remind everybody, you probably have a couple of these on your list, so I won't go into detail, but Air Show is coming up here in just a few weeks. If you haven't made plans or started searching out tickets, I'd encourage you to do so. Blue Angels will be back in town, and if you don't come to the show, you're going to hear them anyway, so you might as well come to the show. Also, we have the Coos Memorial Run coming up. My wife and I have signed up, Brian, so you can pull us in the wagon.
Okay.
So we're not going to walk it, but we're going to let Brian pull us in a little red wagon. It'll be a big red wagon because I'll be in it. But anyway, the Coos Memorial Run, I think we're getting down to the last 100 or so applicants. I think we've just about filled up. So if you want to get in on that, you probably need to do that quickly. I can't show you. I was sworn to secrecy, but I have seen the medals that they have ordered, and they are very sharp. That's going to look really good hanging on my bookcase. And then the last thing, Smyrna Adult Softball is starting. A couple of their season-ending tournaments have already started. I know it seems early, but they're going to go on for a couple weeks starting next week. So it's one of my favorite ones to watch is the co-ed teams. We'll start a 2-week tournament next week. So Monday nights, if you're not doing anything, you're looking for some fun activity, come out and watch the girls out hit the guys at Lee Victory Park, because that's usually what happens. So that's it.
Thanks, Steve. I have a few announcements. I don't know if they'll be up on the screen or not, but there they are. Kids Safety, Smyrna Kids Safety Day is Saturday, May 18th from 9 till 1 p.m. This will be at the Smyrna Outdoor Adventure Center. Smyrna's Kids Safety Day is a day of fun and features important safety education for kids of all ages. Activities will include bike obstacle course, safe animal encounters, rock wall climbing, magic show demonstrations, Tim, hunting safety, seatbelt safety, fire safety, face painting, and much more. Free bicycle helmets are provided to the first 300 children in attendance. So if you want to get that bicycle helmet, you might want to get over there a little early. They're limited on those. There will also be drawings for free bicycles provided by the town of Smyrna and area community businesses. Kids are encouraged to bring their bikes to ride the safety bike course. That should be a lot of fun for a lot of youngsters. I don't know, and I don't think I see it on here. If I do, is there an age limit on this? Because, Brian, you might want to go on your bike. I'm just curious. Get that free helmet.
Get the free helmet?
Yeah. Do we know if there's an age
Is there
limit
an
on it?
age limit, or can I come get a free helmet?
Yeah, I don't recall.
Okay. I didn't see it. I just want to make sure I announced it if there were. Top Gun Night. The Top Gun Night Run is scheduled for Friday, May 31st, 9 p.m. This is a 6K. I think that equates to about 3.7 mile walk. Again, if Brian has a wagon and you're in it, we'll find other people to get wagons and put us in it, but a lot of us are involved in that. This is the Captain Jeff Coos United States Marine Corps Memorial, host of the inaugural Top Gun Night Run, the 6K on Friday, May 31st, 9 p.m. in our main Lee Vickery Recreation Park area. The 3.7 mile course includes the Smyrna Rutherford County Airport and the Smyrna Municipal Golf Course, with the finish line at the memorial where Captain Coos jet is. Spectators and runners will enjoy live music, food trucks in the park. The run will be chip timed and USATF certified and limited to only 500 participants. Do we know our count right now?
We were right at 400.
So we have about 100 spots left if you'd like to register between now and then. And they can do that, I assume, on the Town of Smyrna website?
That's correct. Well,
Okay.
they come by the center,
Or come by the SOAC Center and register. About 100 spots left. We feel like that'll probably fill up. And should be a fun, neat event. I think with it ending there at the memorial with all the lights and everything, if you haven't been over to the memorial at night and see that memorial lit up, it's really something special. So hope you guys can make it. The ways to register, I'll read this. Participants can register here or in person at the Smyrna Parks and Recreation Office, which is at the Event Center on 100 Samberley Parkway East. It's a $50 entry fee. It includes a t-shirt and a custom medal, very nice medal, that'll be awarded at the finish line. Winners of each division will receive an additional award. All proceeds will benefit the future upkeep and maintenance of the memorial. So it's a good cause. Also, we have Simply Smyrna. There it is on your screen. This is Saturday, June 1st, 6 to 10 p.m. This is in our depot area. Come out for some great family fun as Carpe Artista hosts the 2019 Simply Smyrna celebration on Saturday, June 1st from 6 to 10. There'll be live music stages, vendors, food, wine tasting, and a kids zone. So it's something for everybody. Usually the weather participates. If it doesn't, I'm sure we would hear something on rescheduling the event or what have you. So I want to say a special thank you to somebody. I didn't get to do this at the workshop last month, at the end of last month. But we were, some time ago, I stopped and met some very, very nice people over at the Azteca Bakery there in Gill's Hardware Shopping Center. If any of you are familiar with Gill's, you know where I'm talking about, on Nissan Boulevard at the corner of Jefferson Pike. To the right of the hardware store is a small bakery, and it is it's called Azteca. And the people that own that are some of the nicest folks you'll ever want to meet. Their names are Fidel and Lourdes Bello. If you like authentic food, they're not just a bakery. They have all kinds of great food in there, tamales and tacos and all the kinds of stuff that if you like authentic Mexican or Spanish-made food, Latino food, they have it. And I would highly suggest you go by there and experience that. Not only that, they are super nice people. They offered, and we all enjoyed, a meal by them before our meeting last month, and just wonderful, wonderful people. So I'd like to give them a little plug. Go see them. They're trying to get this business up and going, and I told them I would share the experience I had to try to help them keep that thing going strong. So thank you to Fidel and Lourdes for their support. I have two other announcements, and I'll get to this one at the end. Mother's Day, I was out of town, so some of us don't have our mothers anymore. They've since gone on to a better place. But that said, I still want to make sure that we wish all the mothers out there a happy Mother's Day. This is the first time we've met since Mother's Day. And so thank you for what you do, what you mean to your families. You are getting golden crowns. If you're my mama, you did. And I expect everybody feels the same way about theirs. So happy belated Mother's Day to all of our mothers. And lastly, some of us were able to go to Zama, Japan. You'll see on the screen here, we took the time to go visit some of our partners in business, partners with our Zama sister city. Nissan Motor Manufacturing. Steve actually works for Nissan. It's his full-time thing. Nissan was one of our hosts there, and they allowed us to come and sit down and meet with them. In addition to that, we met with Topre America, which is one of our partners here in town. You see the group there. These people really are good business partners of ours. It's been probably 20, how long?
20 years, it was 1999.
Since the last time we had anybody go. Is that right?
That's what I understand.
Yeah, I thought it was longer than that. I thought it was 27 or 8 years. 28 years is what I did. Either way, regardless of what it is, their delegation has been here a number of times and sometimes involved with our sister city rotation. We have students that go there. They have students that come here. And you can see some of the photos there with the Zama delegation, their mayor and vice mayor and their council there with us as we swapped gifts and took some photos. But I can tell you that we had a very, very enjoyable time. It was high-paced. We kept going all the time and met with a lot of our business partners over there. And it was so valuable to go over and reciprocate the Japanese culture by coming to them instead of them always coming to us. We felt like that was highly important.
One of the pictures on the screen right now, I just wanted to comment. This was the day that we visited the elementary school there in Zama, and I think we would all agree it was probably the highlight of the trip.
Yes.
One of the things that became glaringly obvious to me was, even though our cultures are different and most of the kids spoke little or very little or no English, the one thing that was the same is they were still kids. And it was a very good time to spend with elementary kids. They stole my heart. We were there about a half a day, and it was by far the highlight of the trip. So a lot of good lessons learned. These kids taught a bunch of adults some things that day.
I think you're right. The way they do things and the culture behind that is amazing. And I can't say enough good things about our visit to the elementary school. I think if you asked a few of us that did get to go what their highlight was, Steve just hit on it. It was about meeting those kids at that school the first day out. It couldn't have been matched. They stole our hearts. We watched them work. Some of the things they do, they serve lunch to one another. They break down their milk cartons and wash them and recycle them. They clean immediately after they eat. They're in the hallway sweeping, wiping down windows. And it's not like it sounds laborious. These kids are enjoying it. They're out there having a good time. They're just wonderful, wonderful people to learn from and watch. They brush their teeth immediately after lunch. They've got their own little sinks set up in the hallways, and they keep toothbrushes in their cups on their desks. And so immediately they're all just regimented to do these things. And watching that really opened our eyes, those of us that went, to the culture and how they start grooming their children at such a young age to be disciplined and clean, and it's such a clean city. And so we learned a lot by watching those students and their teachers, and you come away with a great sense of appreciation for what they do there.
I want to thank you, Brian, for not including pictures of me sitting at one of those small desks.
I've got that.
Yeah. We got to eat in the classroom with the kids, and my chair was maybe a foot off the ground, so it was a little tough to sit in. I think
It was tougher to get up.
I think Raquel did sneak a picture of it, and I'm just glad it didn't get used. So,
Wow.
I saw her snapping it when I was trying to sit down.
It'll
so.
show up.
Steve, on the other side of the wall there, next to Jerry,
Yeah,
are the gifts, okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna have Jerry lift those up here in just a second. We just learned a whole lot by our visit, but not only that, the reciprocation of appreciation from them was amazing, how much they appreciated our delegation coming to them for the first time in probably 25-plus years. And so that was great. Also, we shared a meal with Mayor Endo and his whole staff, their city assembly, their city council, their spouses, and while we were there, we received a phone call from the American ambassador for Japan, Hargett, and
Bill Haggerty.
Haggerty. No, is it Haggerty?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Haggerty. I wrote it down wrong. Nonetheless, we received a phone call while we were there at dinner, and just a lot of appreciation for the way Smyrna and Zama are creating those relationships across the pond and the foreign relations that are established by that. I think other than that, Jerry, would you, if you don't mind, take those framed pictures there you have on the side of you. I'll let you hold those up and let the public see some of the nice gifts that they presented to us. We in turn took some to them. We gave them a nice clock and some other little gifts, and I just wanted the public to see. I don't know if the cameras are able to zoom in on that or not, but Steve, you might have to hold one. Picture their fire department there. We all had a great time visiting their fire department. Raquel was especially appreciative of that fire department. Huh?
The incinerator.
The
Yeah, that's on the
incinerator.
screen.
Oh, yes. We did visit their incinerator there on how they deal with their trash problem. You know, Rutherford County has a trash problem, as we all know, with the landfill filling up. So we took time to visit their site on how they maneuver and incinerate and separate their trash. They're very good at recycling and doing things much better than we as Americans are. So thank you guys for doing that. I think that's all I have. I believe I covered everything. So unless there's something else or anybody has any other comments, we are adjourned. Thank you.